Today on Blue Values TV, how do we deal with the homeless in Placer County? Stay tuned. Welcome to Blue Values TV, a production of the Blue Values Coalition. The Blue Values Coalition is a nonprofit volunteer organization dedicated to informing, educating, and engaging our neighbors in the governance of our communities. Visit us at bluevaluescoalition.org. I'm your host, Jack Uppel, and our guest today is Suzi deFosset.
Yes, Jack.
Can I call you Suzi?
That please do.
Executive Director of the Gathering Inn. Welcome, Suzi. We're very pleased to have you here with us. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Gathering Inn? What are their goals and how do they go about doing it?
Okay, so the Gathering Inn is the only homeless shelter in Placer County, and we are a nomadic shelter. So every night we gather all the people up to 60 individuals, and we help them store their belongings at our location, take showers, get clean clothes, get ready for the night, and then a bus comes at 6 o'clock, picks them up and brings them to one church, and then the church provides the food and the shelter. We leave staff there all night long and have a shift change at midnight, and then at midnight the two new staff people come on, stay up all night. In the morning we got up about 5:30, clean up the church, hop back on the bus and come back to the intake site. So we've been doing this for close to 10 years, and we have a network of about 47 churches that provide shelter for the homeless. And we take care of about 400 people a year, and our whole goal is to give a hand up, not a hand out.
Big distinction.
Big distinction there, it is.
What's the history of the organization? How was it formed?
About 2003, 2004, a group of pastors got together in reaction to a story that was in the Sacramento Bee about a homeless person from Placer County being dropped off in Sacramento. And they really felt that wasn't a fair thing to happen, so they decided what were they going to do. A group of them got together and started looking at different types of homeless programs that were available. And we copied this program from Mission Solano. And since there were a group of pastors from all sorts of denominations and churches, they really felt that having the community be part of the solution to homelessness was a good thing. So they started out with about 10, 12 churches and went out and did some fundraising, and in November of 2004, the Gathering Inn became a nonprofit.
Fantastic. Are there any criteria for the kinds of people that you'll help in the organization?
Absolutely. Everybody wanting services with us needs to have a Placer County ID, must be clean and sober, and we random drug test every night and alcohol test. Not listed on Megan's Law, which is the 290 Sexual Predators Database, and also have a current TB test, and that's so we're not spreading TB throughout the land.
Sounds like a terrific organization. We have a short video that we'll break to right now that describes the Gathering Inn and what they do. So
Fabulous.
Let's go to the video for just a moment.
Before I was homeless, I was your average, everyday 20-year-old. I used to hang out with friends and go snowboarding, go out to dinner with my friends and go bowling and do all things everybody else does.
Junior came to us, as many of the foster age youth come to us during the summer, when he graduated from high school, no longer was in the foster system, had no job skills, nor did he have any other place to go. This created his homelessness.
Unfortunately, Junior is not alone in his set of circumstances which caused his homelessness. He is one of the hundreds in Placer County which have no place to lay their heads at night, homeless through no fault of their own.
I had nowhere to go after I lost my job. I was on the streets, no one to turn to. I was hurt losing my job. I loved it. And to be homeless, it's like not having a family to turn to, not having anybody to rely on. You're by yourself. You're alone.
The Gathering Inn began as a dream birthed in the heart of several pastors who were convinced that by working together, the Christian community could make a serious impact in Placer County's growing homeless crisis. What began as modest efforts has today grown into a successful partnership between Placer County, Health and Human Services, and over 60 participating churches and ministries that demonstrate the love of God through practical means. What sets the Gathering Inn apart from other homeless programs is our strict nightly intake procedures. Clean and sober is both celebrated and required. To take advantage of our evening services, each night our guests must submit to random drug and alcohol tests and pass an annual TB screening. The Gathering Inn's Community Medical Clinic has immunized thousands against the flu and TB since it began, saving our overburdened hospital system over $500,000 a year in indigent care.
The Gathering Inn, it's amazing what they do for you. I mean, they give you a warm meal, they give you a warm place to stay, security, friendship. I mean, they're a family, and they treat you like a family.
The most important thing that we offer here is fellowship. It's that sense of family that you and I take for granted.
Each night our guests receive a hot meal, a warm shower, clean clothing, and a safe place to sleep in one of our participating churches. They also receive respect, care, and dignity from every staff member. Our Gateway Center gives the community a place to access the internet, receive employment and housing referrals, and also receive counseling, case management, and other mainstream benefits. Our clothes closet provides gently used clothing for our guests, and we supply personal care items we often take for granted.
We place them in front of mental health professionals. We get them in front of doctors. We make sure that whatever is keeping them homeless is addressed and that they move forward.
Guests are expected to grow past their circumstances, which caused their homelessness.
Found the Gathering Inn, and it's been such a blessing. They've helped me so much.
How is all this possible? By the sacrificial donations of local churches who care about the least of these. Consider becoming an ongoing supporter of the Gathering Inn in its ongoing efforts of transforming the lives of those that need it the most. We gladly accept quality used articles of clothing, personal care items, and sacrificial tax-deductible donations.
Wow, that's really something. Can you describe some of the success stories from the Gathering Inn that you've had?
Over the 10 years, we've had many, many success
sure.
stories. We're really proud of the fact that in the last 2 years, we've put 220 people back into housing. So once a person comes into the shelter, they have about 3 days to catch up with our case manager and make an appointment, and they put together a treatment plan on what are the next best steps. A lot of the people that we see are mentally ill or have had some type of traumatic experience in their life and has a really hard time holding a full-time job. So we work very closely getting them into the appropriate housing and the next best step for them. For you, it might be a full-time job back as an executive, and for me, it may be just getting into housing where I can be safe all the time. So we actually work very hard with a lot of different organizations. One is the VA clinics around here up in Auburn, and also the Office of Veteran Affairs down in Placer County to make sure that all the vets are taken care of. We also work closely with the hospitals for anybody discharging out of the hospitals. We have a house up in Auburn from anybody discharging from Kaiser or Sutter, they can come and get medical care for 6 weeks and make sure that they heal from whatever they were in the hospital for. We work with the domestic violence groups. We work with mentally ill groups. So we try not to replicate any services that are out there, but we do a lot of referrals. And our resource center that opened about 3 years ago, we see about 70 people a day come through there. K-Love was fabulous and got us 5 new rehabbed computers and workstations so people can come in, use the computers to look for jobs, connect with family, use emails. And it's almost impossible these days to find employment with that.
Oh, yes.
We work with EDD and make sure that they're aware of what workshops are going on there. We have life skills classes twice a week to make sure that they know how to write resumes, how to do interviewing, how to do checkbooks and budgeting and things like that. And our whole thing is getting them ready to move into housing. And what we realize is that when you take a person who has not been in a house, you just can't plop them in a house. You need to wrap the services around them, make sure that their medical's taken care of and their substance abuse. We have an outpatient program that's free to anybody that's in the shelter. They'll learn how to stay sober, and so that they have all the support when they go into housing and they can continue that support. So that's really important.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite story, or that, without names or anything, that warms your heart when you think about the work that you do?
Recently, a year ago, we had a family with 2 children, and he was working at night, and so during the night, she would be in the shelter with the kids, and he would be working, and then during the day, he would be catching up on his sleep, and she would be watching the kids. They found housing, and so they're in housing now. And about 3 months ago, I believe it was his mother that passed away. Those 2 people came back and gave us a check for $400 from
Wow.
her estate.
And that means so much from
And
someone in your organization.
absolutely. I mean, $400 for that family is huge. And so we have a lot of stories like that. Not everybody brings us back money, and we're really not anticipating that. But we have stories of people who are back volunteering with us. One of our case managers used to be formerly homeless, and she's gone back to school and gotten her drug and alcohol certificate, and also has learned how to be case management and is working with us now.
Those are the kind of things that make you really happy to do this kind of work.
Absolutely.
Tell me about some of the resources. What do you rely on for funds and resources in the organization?
Our funds run from fundraisers that we have. We have about 4 or 5 of those a year, including a golf tournament and a crab feed. Right now, an online auction's going on until December 8th. And then we also
And that online auction can be found at
www.thegatheringinn, and that's INN.com, and you'll see a link to that, and click in and go enjoy shopping in your pajamas, home shopping for the homeless. So we have that, and then we write grants, and then our biggest funds are from private donations, from donors, individual donors.
Are there any single large organizations?
We have Sutter and Kaiser are both very much in supportive of us, because they know that this is a preventative event, that if we keep people out of their emergency room, that they can actually attend to people who are sick. And then some of the banks, Wells Fargo has been a big contributor of ours, and Sure West Foundation. And then we have Wave Broadband, who is giving us $35,000 worth of free advertising on their channel. Wow. So we take in-kind donations. Those 220 people we told you would pop back into housing, majority of those people go back in with sofas and chairs and furniture and beds and things like that. We put one vet back into housing that had been on the street for about 6 years. He got in, we set him up with a bed and couch and dishes and all of that. He hasn't slept in his bed yet. He's still sleeping on the floor. But he'll get there soon enough.
He'll get there. That's
He'll
right.
get there soon enough.
That's right. Now, is the Gathering Inn just an independent organization, or are you affiliated with any larger
No,
organizations?
we're independent. We're completely by ourselves. We're not affiliated with anybody else. I totally believe in helping everybody, so we believe our sister shelter is up in Nevada County, and we work closely with them, and they just opened up a permanent shelter up there called Utah's Place, so that's Hospitality House. So we're pretty connected to all the shelters, and we've had people come in from all sorts of different counties to say, how's this being run, and I'll sit and talk to them and give them any resources they need.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. So this is strictly within Placer County that you're
It is.
offering services?
We were taking in everybody that presented at the gates, and then what we were finding is that residents of Placer County weren't able to get into the shelter because we are limited to 60 a night. And so when we started saying only Placer County residents, 100 people came off our roster and went back to their home. Yeah, their home county.
Now, what kind of support are you looking for right now? And what can people do to help out, to donate? Where can they do this?
Okay.
What's the mechanism?
Thank you. Recently, unfortunately, we've had to cut back our shelter services from 7 days a week to 5 days a week. And we're starting that on December 14th. We're experiencing a shortfall in our budget for the next year. Our budget year goes from October through September. So it's December, and we're 2 months, 3 months into our budget, and we're looking down the road. And to stretch out our services, we're really hoping that we can bring back the 7 days. But right now, money is a big crunch for us. And so we're really looking at trying to figure out ways that we can cut back our not services, but cut back our expenses and also go out and get more money. Hopefully those two will meet in the center and we'll be able to stay open year round. As you know, a year ago we had to close for 49 days.
Yes.
And when we close, not only do we put 60 people back out on the street, and some of them are in very fragile health, but we also have to lay our staff off. And that never feels good to us to do that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So where can people donate? Just at the website? Or?
At the website, there are you can mail checks to P.O. Box 297, Roseville, 95678. You can go online and donate online through PayPal. You can call our office at 916-791-9355 and talk with our administrative assistant Shirley about other ways if you need a coupon book. We have a program called the Daily Hope, which is getting people on a monthly donation plan of $35 a month and ongoing for at least 1 year. And $35 takes care of one person for 1 day.
Wow. And that's for the whole year.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, I understand you mentioned the online auction. You have some other fundraising events going on also, right?
We do. This coming Saturday, there's a group called Be the Change that's putting on a concert for us over at the Blue Goose, and it's a rock and roll concert. Some of the musicians are getting together. So $35 at the door at the Blue Goose, and the doors open at 6.
This Saturday is December 7th. Okay.
Yep. And then Elevation Church up in Auburn is putting on a concert next December 14th, and you can call Elevation Church in Auburn for that information. In February 15th, I believe it is, we're having our 4th annual crab feed with the Granite Bay Rotary, and that will be at the Placer Fairgrounds, Jones Hall, and it's going to be a fun event. That sells out every year, so buy your tickets early. And then in May, we'll have our 5th or 6th annual golf tournament, and that's a big event. That's really a lot of fun, too.
Now, are there opportunities for people to also volunteer with your organization?
We have lots and lots of volunteer opportunities, but most of them are inside the churches. So if you're one of our 47 hosting churches, then talk to the coordinator for the Gathering Inn. Each of our churches has their own coordinator, and you can get involved in providing a meal for the homeless, which is really, really a nice thing to do. For teenagers and things like that, we offer that you might want to go out and collect blue jeans or socks, men's and women's underwear, because we give that away every day. We have a clothing closet that's open twice a week to the general public and every day to the homeless, and so we're always looking for gently worn clothes.
Now, as you know, Blue Values Coalition is also dedicated to helping people get involved in our communities. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be involved with the Gathering Inn?
I moved up to Placer County in 2005 from Contra Costa County, looking for a simpler way of life from the Bay Area. And right after I moved up here, I was working for part-time for the county in their housing program, and that's when I saw the advertisement for this job and I applied for it. Previously, I have administrative experience in running drug and alcohol programs in Oakland and San Francisco, and then worked as a counselor up in St. Helena also.
That's fantastic. Do you have any advice for people that always wanted to get involved, but somehow could never find the time to do it or the wherewithal to do it?
You know, we get lots and lots of calls at this time of the year. I want to feed, I want to, Christmas time. Keep in mind that homelessness doesn't have a Christmas or a Thanksgiving, that March is just as important to volunteer as it is at Thanksgiving, and that if you're interested in volunteering, we always need bus drivers. You have to have a Class B license. Our clothing closet needs people. We need sometimes people to go pick up furniture and things like that that's donated to us. Call us and we will see what's available at the time. Our resource center is always looking for people to run the front desk, answer the phone, hand out information and things like that. And that could be Monday through Friday at any time. So again, 916-791-9355, and we'll see what we can do to put you together with a volunteer opportunity. We have a small grant from Placer Community Foundation to do a reading enhancement program. So you go get trained by the people in the library, and it's a 6-month commitment, and then you come in and you work with 1 or 2 of the people that want to enhance their reading skills. So that's always an opportunity.
So you have children as well as adults in the shelter?
Well, this reading enhancement is for the adults.
For the adults,
But
okay.
yes, we do have children. Majority of the children are school age and are in school during the day.
School. Great, fantastic. Thank you so much. That should wrap it up for today. It's quite an organization to be proud of. And
Thank you.
Thank you for working in this
Well,
organization.
we've got a really dedicated staff that works really hard to make sure that the homeless are taken care of.
That should wrap it up for today. This is an organization that we can be really proud of right here in Placer County. Thank you so much, Suzi, for joining us today. And thank you, viewers, for joining us. We'll see you again on Blue Values TV. Until next time, good evening.